Hey YouTube, Gundam here, and welcome back to Space Engineers. This one's been a little bit coming. This is the Acclamator assault ship. It is a big boat. You've seen it for a while. I haven't changed the hull at all, just added all the stuff I needed to. You can see the Nebula B3 in the background, you can see the Crusader gunship in the background. Increase this a little bit. Obviously, the framework of the big one over there. So, this is the Acclamator assault ship. It is a cruiser, but it's more of a support cruiser, and I'll explain why in a minute. Let's take a look at this thing. Obviously, on the side there's a ton of thrusters aiming out, including several Sage industrial thrusters. And this thing has a pretty, let's go to this side because it's brighter. This thing is pretty darn big down below. It has a real nice engine setup, and obviously lots of engines to move this massive bulk around. Lots of blue everywhere so you know who it belongs to. But notice the shields. Do you see it? This is the first ship with shields in 3 areas. Or is it? Well, technically it is, but they're actually in 6. Well, actually no, the MC-30, I forgot about that thing. Speaking of the MC-30, I want to show you the MC-30 compared to this. Here we are. So the MC-30 is not longer. The MC-30 is definitely not wider or taller. The MC-30 is a frigate. This is most definitely a cruiser. And it's a biggin. So, going over the outside, start counting. We're going to go over the sides last. Going over the bottom first, because that is the least. On the bottom, laser cannon. Laser cannon, turbo laser, laser cannon, rotary. So 3 laser cannons, a turbo, and a rotary. Okay, now the top. Laser cannon, laser cannon, laser cannon, turbo, 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 laser, rotary. So 3 turbo lasers, 4 laser cannons, and a rotary. Well, that's 7 laser cannons with 4 turbo lasers and 2 rotaries per side. Double that. 14 laser cannons, 8 turbo lasers, and 4 rotaries. 14 laser cannons so far, but we have a lot more. Yeah, it's turbo. There are guns everywhere. There's actually a total of, I believe, 26 laser cannons on this thing. Alright, think of that, there's 26. But there's only 14 of these, or excuse me, not 14, there's 18 of these standard turbo lasers. 26 laser cannons and 18 turbo lasers. Sounds like it's kind of turbo laser heavy. Well, it kind of is. And there's 5 rotaries. A couple laser cannons up here at the bridge with hydroponics farms. And the back isn't completely undefended. Oh wait, excuse me, there's additional laser cannons, so is that 28, not 26? 2 laser cannons and a turbo laser with an additional laser cannon there. And the side, 3 laser cannons, 2 turbo lasers, turbo, special, 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 turbo. That's not a laser, that's turbo. And then there's these two bigger turbo lasers. So, what, 28, 30 laser cannons with, how many did I say? 16, 18 turbo lasers, and then 4 bigger turbo lasers. And then there's these things. I believe these are actually proton torpedo launchers, and these are concussion missile launchers. Either that or the other way around. But one of these is a heavy proton torpedo, the other one's a heavy concussion missile. And up here, one of these is a proton torpedo launcher, and the other one's a concussion missile. No idea which one's which. So it has 2 small and 2 heavy proton torpedoes and concussion missile launchers, along with 4 of these bigger turbo lasers. And yeah, it has 18 turbo lasers, and 20 to 30 laser cannons, and 5 rotaries. But do you notice it? Do you see it? Look how big this ship is compared to like that, which has how many laser cannons? And how many turbo lasers again? Isn't it like 16, 18 laser cannons and 7 turbo lasers? This thing has 18 turbo lasers, but do you see the difference? I mean, there's several differences. It's way wider, it's way longer, but it barely has more turbo lasers. It has those 4 bigger ones, but there's only 4 of them. Also, yes, it has proton torpedoes and concussion missiles, but they're on the top of the big side. Underneath is kind of lacking. I mean, it's kind of defended, but not really. The back is lacking. There's a laser cannon, 2 more laser cannons and a turbo laser, and also the laser cannon up here, and this rotary can shoot you if you're behind the ship. So that's 4 laser cannons, a turbo laser, and 3 rotary blasters, because those 2 can shoot you. But notice the laser cannons, the turbo lasers, the concussion missiles elsewhere can't. So if you're in a dead zone around here, that laser, that laser, that laser, and that turbo laser plus that laser is pretty much all that can shoot at you, along with that rotary. But that rotary is only 1 gun. It has to choose between one of the sides of the ship. So this sounds like a jack-of-all-trades ship, and that's what I tried to create. It's a jack-of-all-trades and a master at none. It's able to do everything, which means it has to pay off somewhere. Also, there's plenty of laser antenna around this thing, and other antennas hiding in the back. Now, let's look at the innards. One thing I forgot was backup command console. I'll get over that later. You're going to notice more empty room on this than any previous. First off, there's a giant hulking mass in the front here, and there's gyroscopes everywhere, as you'd expect. But what you don't expect is just the amount of empty room. There's empty room throughout. This is giant empty room, except for a few. There's only a few gyroscopes. But here's one of the shield systems. It's in an enclosed space. But here's one of the shields. That's the forward one. It's 2 duals. Now below it is a metric buttload of oxygen tanks. There's oxygen tanks everywhere, along with a lot of empty room. There's a ton of room here for just placing a lot of thrusters to keep this thing going. And there is access to this area along with the jump drives. We're actually in the back of the boat. The jump drives are right in the back, along with a ton of oxygen. But it's the empty room, because I didn't want to make a super powerful ship. This is a big one. Look at the amount of empty room here, including underneath. This thing's huge. All this empty room. And it's not for the hangar. The hangar is separate. Then we're going to take a look at this upper area here. First off, shield generators. There's additional ones. Notice the location of these shield generators. They're kind of buried in there a bit. And they're right by a ton of thrusters and huge bank of giant gyros. But what else is there? The upper echelons have reactors galore. And then you go back, and this is actually the middle of the ship here. There's a remote control block. You go back, you have the jump drives, oxygen tanks, gyros, those things. But then you get to this back area here. Notice, there's some reactors. There's a ton of hydrogen tanks. Then you get further back, there's reactors, oxygen generators, more reactors, and cargo. There's a lot of cargo here. Now there is a lot of smaller cargo elsewhere. It's just elsewhere. And this here is a giant slab of batteries. So, but the batteries are only in the one area. They're not spread throughout the ship. And there are smaller cargo containers and smaller reactors somewhere. But it's buried in the ship. I don't know where. Look for it, but that might take a while. This thing's kind of big. Oh wait, no, I remember. It's along the sides, along the weapon placements, but not all of them. So yeah, the gyroscopes are literally everywhere. Where's the next big gun? Right here? Nope. So number 3. Nope. Number 4. Nope. 5. Nope. Number 6. That's a turbo laser, but still. Nope. So, oh, it's in the back, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So in the back here is a ton of cargo containers and smaller reactors as support, just in case. Yeah, there's a ton of reactors and cargo all over the place back here, along with those sage thrusters. Now what you're going to find, along with everything else, thrusters in every direction, including internal sage thrusters, and several of them. I hope this is enough room. I don't know. This is, so yeah, the main engines, we're going to take a look at this now. The main engines are stacked in both directions to help move the ship. And lastly, we're going to take a look at the hangar before I walk you through the ship. The hangar, first off, has a pretty big door that is airtight, or it appears to be so, and it is definitively sealed like that. I forgot the door here. Yep. Me forgetting something all the time. Okay, much better. So, this is what you have. A double thick hangar blast door with the airtight seal here. But intentionally, there's this little bitty vent here that's actually a multi-layered vent system going into this room here with a ton of guns. And the reason is to make it airtight or not. Why would you want this to be airtight? Why would you want the main hangar airtight? I can think of a number of reasons. Troop bay? Anyone? Which, yeah, you could absolutely turn this into a troop bay. That's actually partially the reason I made this. But, yeah, you can absolutely have a troop bay and then just put air in here. There's plenty of vents, but I don't actually know if it'll work. Let's find out. Guess I'll find out pretty quickly. When this seals, we're gonna find out the hard question. Will it fill it up? I think it's just too big. It's definitely tight. Yeah, no, wait, no, there it goes. Alright, so it does. And it might take a minute, but there you go. You have proof that this is airtight. But remember all those oxygen tanks? There's also a ton of oxygen generators everywhere for a reason. Now, the hangar is very well lit. I've got my internal light off. And the hangar has a separate hangar here. There's no blast doors, but this, notice the area, it's way up, it's further in, and it's up here. This is a separate, well-ventilated area. This is the storage area. This is the preparation area. And extra storage, or storage for larger things. And yes, both hangars are of course designed to be modified to meet your requirements. And feel free to use this hangar, whoa, big lag spike. Feel free to use this area here for your hangar needs. I didn't need it, so I didn't use it. The problem is, there's that door there and that door there. So either this needs to extend out and then have ramps going up, or you're gonna have to kajigger little something for people to get around. I'm not gonna do that. So we're gonna follow in spectator mode the path. I'm slowing it down. Come through this door, loads of guns. Hello. Well lit. Go through this door. Yeah. And it's very well ventilated. Go through the door. It's not vented at all. Go through to here. Finally, notice there's batteries everywhere. You reach the primary area. Why are there so many guns here? Because of that. That's literally right there. So it takes a long ways. That's okay. But notice in this area, there's that door you came out of. But then there's the blue room, which is medical. Ton of vents here. And then this room, right by the jump drives. What's in here? First off, it's a double door. This leads out into the ship. You need to do maintenance? Do here. Actually, those should be red. For airlock, it should mean red for an airlock. There we go. So yeah, the doors are now red, meaning it's an airlock. Well, that's one of the things. So yeah. But we go up now through this door. The green room. Remember, medical's way down there. It's way down there. This is for emergency work throughout the ship, or if you want to modify it. Feel free to modify the ship as you see fit. Go through here. What do you have? I think these doors should be like yellow or something. Yeah, they should be. The green door going to the yellow. Or, nah, it should be green too. Or just not colored. But what it does is leads to this. You have such a big hangar that you literally have 4 of these nice meeting rooms right here. This is directly by those torpedo and missile launchers. And there's my character. So this is right underneath it. These 4 separate meeting rooms with no way in between them. And there's an office in the back. A big office where somebody can sit and look at 3 monitors of 3 different people, and they can see what they did wrong at these 2 monitors. I could easily just blow out this wall if I wanted to. And put in, say, a door. Wrong one. There we go. So there's a door between them, and yeah, that's in case the 2 officers want to talk to each other. So yeah, now I'm intentionally not curving this so it just doesn't add too much to the block list. You will be seeing those lag spikes more often, I think, if I ever get around to that Imperial. So now we're going to go back up, out to the green door, out the green door. So they go from here and drop down, or drop down 1 level. They can keep dropping, or they drop down to this and go around the long way. It's probably better if they just drop straight down, go into the hangar. Oh, they have access, but they have to jump up then. So the other way, it takes them a while, but they can get there. So now, if we go back to where we were, through the bowels of the ship, underneath, the only next thing that goes up, which I'm going to show you with my character. Not automatic doors, because this is an older ship, and I didn't want to have to do anything for all these doors. There is lag with this. That's to be expected. So first off, lots of guns, but not that many. It leads to this. This is the cryo room. This is the crew of the ship. It's designed to have a small crew. double airlock, just in case. And you have the bridge. This is the bridge of the ship. And this is where it gets interesting. I just vented the main hangars. I'm going to hit button 9 and close those blast doors. If I just vented the main hangars through that vent there. That's in case there's problems. Notice the weight. 60446060. That's in the hundreds of millions, I believe. Or no, tens of millions. I don't know. It's a lot of weight, but there's a lot of empty room. Huge hangar, a lot of empty room. Let's rotate. Rotation is lacking and it's gonna hurt your frames per second. But it's such a big ship, it's expected. Going side to side is actually surprisingly good. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm only running at 22 FPS. Now the reason it's so good is primarily due to those sage thrusters. Going up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Going up and down. Also very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now reverse. 1, 2, 3. Reverse is actually not as good as going side to side. There's 10, there's 15. Okay. And here we go. Forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It comes down to those sage thrusters pointing in each direction, because there's actually not just 3 of them, there's like 7 of them. And plenty of thrusters on the inside. There's actually double the thrusters going to either side as there appears to be. So that's where the majority of the thrusters are. Good news is power output isn't a problem. But this thing is lagging pretty badly. I'm worried now about the Imperial. Oh, I think no, wait there we go. So this thing is gonna lag you. So, Acclamator assault ship. It's vibrating. I don't like that. That's what I don't like about that mod. The so-called doors don't stay. So I will catch you all later.